we're going to record actually most, if not all, of the lectures in this course and then put them on YouTube so that if students, for example, have to miss a class or two, can watch the course on YouTube. And then also, of course, students become involved in this project later. They can also go back and watch the recordings. We don't expect anything to go viral or to be watched too much out of the context of this project. Okay, so I will now go over the syllabus. So the syllabus is on course webpage. Is everyone able to get to the course webpage? Shout if you couldn't. I can add the link to the chat. Okay, so this is a 3-credit course, as you know, taught at ASU and UNR, mixed undergrad and grad students, students with a wide variety of backgrounds. We've gone over the course descriptions. If you have any questions on this, please let me know. Our course will be meeting every week on Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10:15. And it seems like everyone was able to find the Zoom link. And we intend that the entire course will be remote, do it virtually. We'll discuss in a few minutes. You'll need to have a computer that's good enough to run a program called QGIS. So I will have office hours every day from 2 to 3, Arizona and Pacific time. So these office hours are on Tuesday because most of your homework assignments will be due on Wednesday. If there's some other conflict during this time, though, I'd be happy to shift by a couple hours. So please let me know. So as most of you know, you have reading assignments. These are due the day before we discuss the reading in class. These aren't meant to be stressful, to be relatively easy, and just as an easy way for me to check and to know that you've done the homework. The grades, if you do it and you send it, you get 100%. If you don't, you get 0. And the grades count towards your participation. You get 1 free reading. And actually, since there was a little bit of confusion with the assignment due today, I'm giving a 24-hour extension. So for the reading due today, if you can send it to me by 5 o'clock, or sorry, due yesterday, if you can send it to me by 5 o'clock today, then you get the full credit.
Yeah, so I think some of your original emails, Chelsea, went to some folks' spam folders and things like that when you sent it out on last week. And so if everyone just make sure you add Chelsea's name to your inbox so to make sure that those emails will come directly to your box and not get lost.
Yes.
That would be great.
Yes. So in these summaries, or in these summaries you send, I'd like 1 paragraph summary of the reading. Everyone did this fine. Maybe 5 sentences is good, longer is okay. 4 sentences, or sorry, 4 questions that you have about the reading. And then for papers, I'd like to know what you anticipate as the lasting impact of this paper. What's the 1 sentence big conclusion that people will remember from this paper? So homework assignments, please try to turn them in on time. Of course, we understand that particularly now things are happening that might make that harder. So if you anticipate having some issue, then we can get in touch and we can work together to make some sort of accommodation. But if I don't hear anything from you, you will lose 10% per day for turned in homework, late turned in assignments. And one reason for that kind of strict policy is that we are going to discuss the homework often the day after it's due. And so I want to make sure that everyone is ready to discuss the homework assignments. So in this course, we're going to be using the software QGIS. This is open source software, works across platforms. It's very similar to ArcMap, except it's open source and it's free. But recently, QGIS has become a very powerful program. Doesn't need licenses, so yeah, I think it's a good software to use. If you would prefer to use ArcMap, you may, but we will not provide you with the license. The textbook for the semester is Paleoseismology. You got this all in the email. So if there's a problem with getting that, let me know. Seems everyone is fine.
Yeah, it's pretty big file size. You can go into PDF and give it a reduced file size. It makes it about half the size for emailing and stuff like that. But
okay,
not a big deal if you already have it and it's already downloaded and stuff. But
yeah, so if you had a problem, let me know and I can try to send you a smaller version of it. So in the second part of the semester, you'll be working on independent mapping projects. We're working on getting the data for you for these projects. It'll be from a combination of open topography, as Ramon was describing before, and primarily then USGS air photos. And so during this part of the semester, you'll work on developing maps of these faults, given the skills that we teach you in the first part of the semester. So the deliverables for this project, the first part of the semester will be the homework that you'll turn in. And then later in the part of the semester, you'll be working on the individual mapping projects. And we'll have weekly check-ins where every other week or so, each student will prepare just a couple-minute presentation on their mapping, what they think is going well, what you're having trouble on, and then we'll discuss these reports as a group and hopefully all learn together as we collaborate on these different mapping projects. And then finally, you'll write a report and a presentation on your mapping projects. And then we'll ask you to turn in well-documented mapping for your final project that we'll upload to some server so that we can keep this and continue to work on the data that you generate. Are there any questions?
I'll just add, Chelsea, for UNR students, I also have, or for all the students, I have office hours as well, not official office hours, but I'm generally around, you know, all week in normal working hours. So email's the best way to just kind of ping me a message and let me know you want to chat about something and we can work it out individually. But generally around all week, most weeks. If I'm in the field or something like that, I'll try to get back to you in the evening. And then every now and then I may send out a message through the web campus server for UNR students, but just because the university wants us to use it. But I'm more than happy to just communicate with email, being a pretty small class and divided up between 2 universities. So email is probably the best way to go. Maybe just some formality announcements through web campus for UNR students, but that's about it. Most everything will be done through email. And so just keep checking the class website for any updates on assignments and things like that will be added there. Is that correct, Chelsea?
Yes. Yes, the website, and then if there's anything that is more pressing for the next week or so, then I'll be sure to send it out in email. If you didn't get the email that I sent out, I guess about a week ago, or you would like me to send communication to a different email, please let me know.
I think everybody at UNR got it.
Yeah.
Once you figured out the spam thing.
Okay. Yeah, so make sure that you change your email settings so that you can get email from me.
So I do have a question about the data sets.
Yes.
Are you providing us with data sets, or can we use data sets that we already have?
So we have been looking and finding data sets. And if you have a separate data set that you would like to use, that may be fine, but we'd like to talk about it first.
Yeah, maybe communicate with us, and so we can see if it fits within the confines of what we want you to work on.
Sounds good.
Are there any other questions, comments, concerns?
Just to verify, these data sets will also coincide both with QGIS and ArcMap.
Yes, and so you will be able to open it and complete the mapping with either software, and later next week we'll have a class devoted to learning how to use QGIS. And so we don't expect that you've had any experience using either QGIS or ARC, and we'll provide you with the necessary background. And then we'll build up the assignments to get a little bit more complicated, both in the mapping and the technology. Other questions?
Yeah, maybe I'll just add from another instructor point of view, just quickly. You know, I think it's maybe slightly awkward for the students because everyone's so used to some of these the on-campus learning environments like Canvas or whatever you guys are using at Reno. So slightly awkward in the sense we're running it kind of old school on a freestanding website. So just keep your eye on that, and therefore, please don't be shy to ask questions for clarification, because a lot of times they're used to finding something in Canvas here or there, and it's not going to be there. We'll sort of minimize our use of those tools. But thanks a lot to Chelsea for being really well organized. So hopefully, you know, this is pretty clear, but if there's anything you need, don't be shy to ask.
Yes. So I'll just briefly talk about the reading. So thank you to many of you for sending the reading before 5 o'clock yesterday. Most of the time we will discuss the reading the day after it's due. Today's a little bit of an exception. And actually, as many of you noted, the reading was a very good introduction to many of the topics that we'll discuss later this semester. In particular, people ask questions like, how are air photos acquired? What is the error in mapping faults? And how do we work with data set or in areas with high vegetation? So these questions, as well as a number of other questions that students asked, will actually be themes that we discuss either throughout the entire class, or we'll have the better part of a lecture dedicated to that particular topic. So nice job with the reading, and please keep up sending your summaries. So is everyone correct, was able to access the website, which I see now Ramon put a link in to the chat? I like the thumbs up. Lizzie, thank you. All right, great. So again, if you have any questions about how to access the website, please let me know. And I think now Chris or Olivine will talk to us about PG&E.
Okay, let me see.